Oh, like I said, man, that's a big dude. You know what I mean? He ain't even at 168. You know, when you look
Right,
at
not now. It's at 175, yeah.
he probably can't even make 168 no more. When you look at these fights, you know, especially
like I said, I don't want no handouts either. I want to, earn my spots everywhere I go, even at 175. But, I see that weight class, I want to become champion at 175, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's a tough fight. I don't know if Bud can overcome that. That's different. That's a lot. That's a lot to overcome. Height, reach, the speed of Benavidez coming downhill, the stamina, because this a guy that does get stronger as the fight goes also. So some of the advantages he had over Canelo, he wouldn't have if Benavidez. I think it will be a question if Benavidez can make the weight.
But yeah, I mean, if the fight comes up, the opportunity comes up, I would love that fight.
So you're saying 160 versus Crawford, you do it?
Oh, yeah.
Fresh off his victory over Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford didn't waste time firing back at David Benavidez. During his sit-down with Stephen Smith, the conversation naturally turned to what's next, and Smith floated Benavidez as a possible challenger. That's when Crawford dropped a pointed response that immediately caught fire across social media and the boxing press. He questioned whether Benavidez could consistently make the 168-pound limit, hinting that all the chatter about a potential clash might be more smoke than substance.
But if you were at 168, when we think about anybody at 168 outside of Canelo, the first name that comes to anybody's mind is David Benavidez. What about the potential for a fight like that?
oh, like I said, man, that's a big dude. You know what I mean? He ain't even at 168. You know, when you look
Right, not now. It's at 175, yeah.
he probably can't even make 168 no more. When you look at these fights, you know, especially coming up, you gotta be realistic. You gotta, say, all right, how big is this dude really is? Because David Benavidez, he could fight his ass off, and I told him that a long time. I told him that when, before I fought his brother. I said, man, dude, you can fight, dude. You're gonna do big things.
Crawford's sharp comment only poured gasoline on the ongoing debate about his next move. Voices from beyond boxing quickly chimed in, including MMA standouts Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman, both longtime followers of the sport. They pushed back on Crawford's claim, insisting that David Benavidez can, in fact, make the 168-pound limit. In their eyes, this isn't about numbers on a scale. It's about two elite names finally colliding to determine who truly sits on top. Their message was clear. Fans don't care for excuses or hurdles. They want clarity, and that only comes when the best fight the best.
Hear me out here, Kamaru. Terence Crawford versus the Mexican monster, David Benavidez.
I knew it was coming.
He was the mandatory for Canelo.
Oh, my God. Relax.
What's up? The scariest guy in the division.
He's not in the division.
He said he could still make 168 pounds. The reason why he won out because nobody wants to fight him.
That's a big dude. And to be honest, Terence Crawford's 37 years old.
It's about merit. Could I get to the generational talent, as he said, with Manny Pacquiao? He's an 8-division world champ.
If it ain't no big name, Terence, do what you do.
Amid all the back and forth over future opponents, Crawford used his post-fight press conference to speak directly to his doubters. He reminded the media of how many times people had dismissed him, questioned his resume, or labeled him irrelevant, and then pointed out that those same voices had no answers after his dismantling of Canelo. His tone carried both confidence and satisfaction as he asked what more critics could possibly say now. It was less a defense than a declaration, delivered like a man fully aware that the balance of power in boxing had shifted squarely in his favor.
Hear that? Which do you think means
all
the most?
All of it. It all goes hand in hand.
Can you describe what it all means to you to have? You just made like a whole resume of stuff tonight.
It means a lot to me because, anybody can be a nobody, like I said, and that's all they say I've been fighting is nobodies. So what can they say now? Somebody tell me, what can you say now?
You can say congratulations.
That's it. What can you?
Still, Benavidez didn't take Crawford's words lying down. He quickly fired back, dismissing the idea that he couldn't make 168. For Benavidez, the real issue wasn't the scale, it was the division itself. In his view, Crawford had no grounds to question him since they weren't even operating in the same weight class. Benavidez, who often considers himself more suited for 175, made it clear he has his own plans and path. To him, Crawford's jab felt less like a genuine critique and more like a deflection, a way to sidestep a dangerous matchup rather than confront it head-on.
You know what I mean? This is a tough fight. You know, the top people ranked at the WC are fighting each other. So I mean, it should be an easy call. If I can't get those fights, then I'll go up to fight people, or I'll go try to, you know, I set my conquest on 175. Like I said, I don't want no handouts either. I want to, you know, earn my spots everywhere I go, even at 175. But you know, I see that weight class. You know, I want to become champion at 175, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Yet despite his rebuttal, many began questioning Benavidez's intentions. Was he genuinely dismissing Crawford, or was he sidestepping the matchup altogether? While Crawford's camp painted him as a fighter struggling to make weight, Benavidez appeared more interested in exploring other opportunities. Reports hinted that his focus had already shifted toward Dmitry Bivol, a proven force in the higher divisions. That left fans and analysts debating a bigger question. Is Benavidez avoiding Crawford, or is he simply chasing challenges that better align with his long-term career path?
Even though he hasn't been at 60, there's no big names at 60. 68, maybe the Benavidez fight. That's a tough fight for Bud. I ain't gonna lie, that's a tough fight. Benavidez ain't gonna do. Yeah, that's a tough fight. I don't know if Bud can overcome that. That's different. That's a lot. That's a lot to overcome. Height, reach, the speed of Benavidez coming downhill, the stamina. But this a guy that does get stronger as the fight goes also. So some of the advantages he had over Canelo, he wouldn't have at Benavidez. I think it will be a question if Benavidez can make the weight. I know he's been there at 75 recently.
In the background, talk of a Crawford-Benavidez showdown refused to fade. Veteran trainer Breadman Edwards stirred the pot further, revealing that there's genuine momentum behind the matchup. He suggested that Al Heyman himself has expressed serious interest in putting the fight together. A sign that the idea isn't just hype, but something being moved forward at the highest level. That kind of backing changes everything. When major players step in, dream fights often shift from speculation to signed contracts faster than anyone expects.
No, I think David's too big for Terence Crawford. I think Terence Crawford will be like 38 years old, you know? I mean, it will not be the same as Canelo, man. We know David comes in and throws a lot of punches and put the pressure. And no disrespect to Terence Crawford, he's the best pound for pound. He's in the books to do history. He did something that nobody could do. But at the end of the day, we're talking about the Mexican monster, you know? David's young, strong, super big for Terence Crawford. And, you know, even Terence Crawford said that Kavalowski's or whatever.
As the rumors intensified, David Benavidez' father and trainer, Jose Benavidez Sr., entered the conversation with his own perspective. He gave Crawford full credit for his accomplishments, acknowledging the skill that carried him past Canelo. But then came the warning. In his eyes, Terence Crawford hasn't yet faced anything like David. He described his son as a different breed entirely, heavy-handed, relentless, and at his physical peak. Crawford may have solved Canelo, but stepping in with Benavidez, he cautioned, would be like facing a Mexican monster. The message was clear. This wouldn't be a repeat of what fans had just seen, but a far more dangerous test.
Canelo,
Turkey dropped.
You know, people are talking about it.
Turkey hinted at that. He was like Benavidez.
Yeah, he
Turkey,
did.
So
Turkey just posted that this morning, wondering if Benavidez can make 168. Maybe he has plans or ideas of maybe trying to match up Benavidez and Terence Crawford.
No,
there.
no, we ain't doing that fight.
Maybe planning on vacating the belts.
No, we ain't gonna vacate the belts. You know, we just gonna sit where we need to sit for a minute, and then, just like I said, get back in the gym and do our thing.
Honest.
And he don't want none.
On the other side, Crawford's longtime trainer Bull Marmack was quick to shut down. The talk of a Crawford-Benavidez showdown didn't convince everyone. While some voices fueled the hype, trainer Bomac poured cold water on it, stressing that their camp was focused on steady progress and realistic matchups. His message was clear. Outside noise and fan demand won't dictate Crawford's path. For Bomac, the goal remains discipline and smart decisions, not getting swept up in headlines.
But yeah, I mean, if the fight comes up, the opportunity comes up, I would love that fight.
So you're saying 160 versus Crawford, you do?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Even if it's right now like at 154, like let's say he says, you know what, I want you to jump up to 160.
Why not? I mean, I feel like I'm a big 154 as it is, you know? I mean, I was a big 140. I was a 140, a big 140, a big 147, a big 154. I think 160, I've always said I'd go to 160 eventually. So
And amid the ongoing back and forth, another name jumped into the conversation: Virgil Ortiz. The young contender not only gave his perspective, but went a step further, issuing a call-out to Crawford himself. Ortiz made it clear he'd be willing to face the pound-for-pound star, though with one condition: the fight would have to be at 160 pounds. For Ortiz, the weight wasn't a concern. He framed it as an opportunity to prove himself while others were still caught up in negotiations, presenting himself as ready to take on the challenge head-on.
I mean, I don't know if David can make the weight anymore. I mean, it's one thing to want to go down, but are you still able to? So I don't know. Would it entice him? Maybe, but that doesn't mean that he can do it. You know, I mean, he's been at 168 for a while.
Ortiz didn't hold back when the topic of Benavidez making the 168-pound limit came up. He flatly dismissed the idea, insisting it would be nearly impossible for Benavidez to cut down to super middleweight at this point in his career. In making that claim, Ortiz not only questioned Benavidez's discipline, but also cast serious doubt on the matchup fans had been buzzing about. His comments echoed Crawford's earlier critique, but carried extra weight as they came from someone watching the situation from the outside.
Crawford and Benavidez.
He said he wondered if Benavidez could make 168.
We just talked to Womack and he was like, "Nah, we don't want to do that."
Yeah, I just think Benavidez, he's like what, 6'5", 6 something like that. He's a big dude, bro. Yeah. He's a big dude, man. So I just who knows? Now you got fight announcements now. They got, you know, Rey Mysterio fighting Andrew Tate and I don't know, just crazy stuff. So we'll see, man.
All of these comments, debates, and bold predictions have given fans plenty to chew on. Crawford has already cemented his place as one of the defining fighters of this generation, silencing doubters by toppling Canelo and pulling off a historic achievement few in the sport ever manage. Yet even with that victory still fresh, the conversation has quickly shifted to the future. Every interview, podcast, and headline seems to circle the same burning question: who's next for Crawford? And will David Benavidez be the one to step forward and take that challenge?
About fighting Benavidez. That's just Turkey trying to pull rank. Turkey trying to show he got a golden arm. You know what I mean?
I understand that Turkey likes to make these big grand events, but there's a boxing aspect to this shit too. Like some stuff gotta make boxing sense. Yeah. Bringing the dude down that's been comfortable at 75, bringing him back down to 68, and then having him fight a dude that just jumped 3 weight classes in 2 fights and started his career off at 35.
Right.
Like, no, bro. No.
Yeah, I don't want to see that fight. There's no point. There's no point. Like I said, Bud needs to just go get line of suit.
Benavidez still looms as both a rival and a mystery. His weight, his focus, and even his true intentions remain under the microscope. Analysts, fighters, and family members have all weighed in, but nobody can say with certainty whether this matchup will actually happen. What's undeniable, though, is that the back and forth has injected fresh energy into boxing's biggest debates. At this point, the story isn't just about Crawford's dominance or Benavidez's potential. It's about whether their paths are destined to cross inside the ring.
Ever entertain a fight with David Benavidez?
You gotta understand.
I gotta ask you, bro, because I can't, you know?
My thing is, Benavidez is a big dude. Not to say I won't fight him. I fought his brother. His brother was big when I fought him. The only reason why I entertain Canelo is because he's not a big dude. He might be thick, but he's not a big dude. Benavidez is like 6 foot something. Then he gonna come in 190, 200 probably. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. Like, that's a big dude.
And he's skilled.
I might as well go to heavyweight if I fight Benavidez.
From whispers of Al Heyman's quiet influence to Virgil Ortiz stepping forward with his own challenge, the story has only grown more complex with each passing day. Crawford may have silenced his longtime critics, but new contenders keep emerging to test him. Benavidez's father has issued bold warnings, while voices like Bomac and Ortiz have pulled the narrative in different directions. And that's the beauty of boxing. It lives on constant twists, shifting debates, and rivalries that refuse to fade.